Hi, I'm Anna Livermore and I own Mora, which is a company that helps launch fashion designers. So when I went to get married, I was so specific about what I wanted, and I have been in the industry for so long. I knew that there wasn't anywhere I'd rather go than Renee Bridal. Steve and Terry have been a client of mine for a long time, and I was so excited. Austin and I had met, a little bit of our story. We dated for about a year, and then we had broken up, and we got back together a few months before COVID hit. And once everyone went into lockdown, I have a place in Vermont, I live in New York, and we were still kind of like figuring things out, and I was like, well, are you in or are you out? Because I'm going to Vermont, and are you going to come with me? And he did, and we had the most amazing, yes, all of these, traumatic things are happening in the world. We didn't know it was going to go through what we were going to go through, but it was just really nice to have him there, and having Vermont was a real blessing because we got mountain bikes and we had space. Our place in New York is really small, and at the time we didn't live together. So we got engaged. Actually, we were moving in together, and that wasn't something that I wanted to do before I was engaged because I've been single a long time and I have all my stuff in my apartment, and if I was going to give up that much of my independence, I was like, it's because it's, we're going to get engaged and we're going to be married. And that's the only reason that I would give up so much of my independence is if we're really in this. But it didn't work out that way. I had to move, my lease was up, and the whole time we're not engaged yet. And he proposed to me a week after I moved in. So it was funny because I'm like, I have to get rid of my bed and I have to get rid of all my furniture, and we're not engaged. And he would just laugh at me and be like, you're crazy. But the whole time he knew that he had bought the ring and he was going to propose. So when he did it, we went back to our very first date we had at, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of it, but it's this really nice restaurant, and our very first date we walk in and it's a prefixed menu, which is over $200 a person. And I look at him, I'm like, did you know it was prefix? And he's like, nope. And I was like, we can leave, because it's a lot of money to spend on a first date. And he's like, no, we're gonna stay. And I can tell that it's a little shocking to him, but I was like, if he says we're gonna stay, then we're gonna stay. He wouldn't take any money from me when I offered, and I was like, all right, well, I've asked, I can't force him to leave, and he says we're gonna stay, so we're gonna stay. So it's a running joke that our first date was way more expensive than any first date he'd ever been on. So he had made lunch plans. I think I moved in on a Wednesday, and he's like, let's go celebrate moving in on Saturday, and he has a surprise. So we end up at the same restaurant that we had our first date on, and afterwards we're walking to his favorite park. And how it was supposed to play out in his mind was, we would walk through the park, it's his favorite park, there would be a fountain, and there'd happen to be a photographer there, and he'd say, oh, would you mind taking a photo of us? And then he'd propose. But how it really happened, he's dead silent, he starts shaking, he's super nervous, and I know that it's gonna happen. And there's a photographer, and she's staring at us, and she beelines it to her. It's will you take our picture? And I was like, oh my God, it's happening now. So he proposed, and I said yes. And then randomly someone in the park was like, way to go, Austin. We still don't know who that was, but somebody that knew him was there, and that was sweet. So we got engaged, and it was during COVID, so it was the planning the big wedding and having all of this, and wasn't ever something that was important to me, I guess. And with it being COVID, I just wanted to be married. I just, wanted to move forward with our lives. And we were going to Florida to visit his family for Christmas, and his two brothers and nephews and nieces and his parents, everyone's gonna be there. So I was like, we should just, get married there. And this is I think we had 3 weeks before we were gonna go, and we decided we're gonna get married. And then it turns into, we were able to book this beautiful place that just started offering these elopement packages for COVID, where you can come on the premise for an hour, do the ceremony, take the photos, and then you gotta get off. And then my brother ended up coming, and my close friends, and my dad, so it was really nice. The max capacity was 20 people, it was just perfect. We did a Skype, or not a Skype, what year is it? We did a Zoom, and my friend coordinated it. I have it all on recording, and for like the first 2 hours before the wedding, it's just all of our like aunts and older people freaking out because they can't find the right video to watch, and they're all like, what do we do? And they're yelling, and everyone's talking over each other. And then my friend Mary, when the ceremony was starting, you just hear her be like, okay, I'm gonna mute everyone. And they're like, no, they're all screaming, and she just mutes. But it worked out because, you know, it would flash between the speaker. So when everyone was speaking, everyone's screens was switching. So once she muted it and there was just the screen with us on it, it worked out and everyone was able to see. But it was quite traumatic, and it was just a lot of fun. So we got to have a lot of people there on Zoom, and it all just worked out perfectly. And when it came to my dress, I reached out to Terry and I was like, so I'm getting married on December 20th. And I was wondering if you could help me. And she's like, absolutely. I was like, are you sure? Like December 20th this year, which is in 3 weeks. And she's like, I got you. And I just trusted her because I knew that her work was so amazing, and everything that she put out is just done with such quality and care that I was like, yeah, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be great. So we did a virtual fitting where it was a video, and she taught my friends how to measure me. And she had models there to try on different dresses for me that I could see, and it was amazing. I got my dress on Friday. My wedding was on Sunday, and I tried it on, and it was beautiful. It was perfect. Everything about it. I had an underlaid dress with the lace jacket on top of, so it was like 2 looks in one. It was perfect. It fit beautifully. The pictures are gorgeous. So while it was a bit chaotic and quick, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Everyone got to either share through video or be there in person. The small wedding, we went to the Ritz-Carlton Beach Club for high tea after, and it was beautiful. Everything worked out just the way it should, and I'm super happy that the dress was gorgeous, and that even though everything was rushed and it wasn't this like dream wedding that I had as a little girl, I at least got to have the dress that I always wanted to have, and that was just beautiful. And working in fashion, the dress was important to me. I'm not gonna say the most important, but it was definitely up there on my priority list of like, if I can get the dress together, we can do this wedding. Had I not been able to get the dress together, I might have wanted to delay, but I didn't have to, and everything was great. And thank you so much, Steve and Terry, for my beautiful dress and making my day perfect.